Mr. Salepis?
Here.
Mr. Waldinger?
Here.
Can I get a motion to approve the October 10th, 2024 regular meeting minutes?
I make a motion that we approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any public comment on items that are not on the agenda? Hearing none. Old business is the Cohen Market site plan withdrawn at the request of the applicant?
Yes.
Okay. New business, we'll move right on to the Seraly employee parking lot site plan.
Okay, the Township is in receipt of an application for site plan approval from Mark Seraly for the Seraly Employee Parking Lot Site Plan located at 212 East McMurray Road. The property is just over 1/2 acre in area and is a standard rectangular lot. A water course traverses the property roughly parallel to East McMurray Road. A gravel lot about 5,600 square feet, about 7,200 square feet in area, is located on the eastern side of the property, and a separate gravel lot about 5,600 square feet in area is located west of the water course and is accessible via a concrete bridge. The property is actively utilized as a parking facility for employees of the nearby medical offices. The applicant proposes the installation of 17 parking stalls with precast concrete wheel stops placed at the end of each stall. One of the stalls will be ADA van accessible. A landscape buffer will be planted along East McMurray Road. The ingress-egress location will be narrowed to a section 25 feet in width, and the parking will be utilized only by employees of the adjacent medical offices. I've outlined in the staff report how the determination was made that the parking facility is a permitted use. Other zoning items worth noting are that the landscape buffer is a buffer area C, which is required for any non-residential property adjoining a public right-of-way. The 25-foot wide entrance area conforms to the maximum 25-foot curb cut permitted in non-residential districts. Parking lots are required to be paved with an impervious material. However, the applicant is allowed to continue its use as a gravel lot, though as it is a continuation of a non-conforming use. However, the applicant has agreed to pave the entrance area and the ADA parking space. Staff is recommending the Planning Commission approve the Seraly Employee Parking Lot Site Plan, subject to a note being added to the plan verifying that the landowner will maintain/repaint the parking stall lines as necessary or install a form of permanent marking.
And this is the final stop here. This is
Yep, this
where
is
it
an
ends.
approval.
Any audience comments on the Seraly employee parking lot site plan? Any commissioner comments?
Does this require a PennDOT HOP, and if so, has been filed for and is compliant with?
They've had an HOP since the mid-90s, I believe.
Okay, so we're falling under that existing one.
Yes.
Any other comments? If not, can I hear a motion, please?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion
Go ahead.
that the Planning Commission approves the Seraly Employee Parking Lot Site Plan with just the one notation by staff.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, next on the agenda is the Valley Brook Country Club Edition.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Good luck with it. Valley Brook Country Club Edition Site Plan. I'm going to recuse myself because I'm a senior member, and so is Mr. Wiley. Rocco, you want to take over as chair?
Sure. Any presentation from staff?
Yes, I'll be doing the presentation for this one. So what you have before you is a clubhouse edition at the Valley Brook Country Club. For those of you unfamiliar with this property, this is a 111-acre tract located at the end of the Hidden Valley Road in Peters Township. It's also adjacent to Cecil Township, located on the opposite side of Chartiers Creek, kind of shown in red here. There it is, around in here. So there's also an additional 198-acre tract in Cecil Township that also makes up the club. The project area itself, though, is only proposed to be about an acre. highlighted in green there. Of course, we can't get, there we are, right there in the center of the club. And this will include the addition and a new parking lot for the site, or I should say a redeveloped parking lot. So looking at the proposed development itself, again, it's approximately 1 acre disturbance. The building addition itself is proposed to be a 2-story, 20,000 square foot building. It'll actually work with the grade in that you'll have a 2-story elevation in the rear, as you can see in the bottom elevation drawing here, that features a balcony overlooking the golf course. And in the front, you'll see it only has a 1-story elevation. Some additional developments going on with this project. As I noted, the parking lot is to be reconfigured and redeveloped. There will be stormwater tanks placed underneath the pavement. In addition to that, the parking spaces themselves are being reconfigured. That will also include some additional handicap parking. And there's going to be landscaping that's proposed both on the perimeter of what they call the senior parking lot here, as well as 2 additional trees in parking islands that are being placed in the parking lot. So based on the plans presented to us, it is staff's professional opinion that this meets all of our existing zoning and subdivision land development ordinance requirements. And as such, we are recommending that the site plan be approved. Access correct up to the clubhouse addition. Last revised October 25th, conditioned upon those 5 conditions there, they being that they list the number of existing and proposed handicap spaces on sheet C100. Note on the plans that the country club will work with Peters Township Fire Department on the appropriate location for the fire hydrant, execute a site plan improvement agreement with the township, clarify the discharge location of underground infiltration tank and the connection to the stormwater cleanout, as well as initiate a stormwater maintenance agreement with the township at the time of final approval. And I'll also note that we have a member from LSSE here who can answer any of the stormwater and engineering questions if you should have some. And the applicant is in the audience as well.
Very good. Let me have the applicant come up, explain the plans, please.
Evening, everybody. I'm Brandon Miles with Horizon Properties. We're here on behalf of Valley Brook Country Club, working as the owner's rep for building renovation and addition project. With me tonight, I have Ryan from Gateway Engineering and Brian Grundle, our project architect, from Desmond.
Did you want to review? It's a 2-story building, relatively straightforward addition. Any question on the comments? I think there was 2 items that were added to the recommendations regarding stormwater management. Would you kindly just point out what we're looking at there, Ryan?
Yeah, sure. So the 2 comments, one was about the connection downstream from the stormwater management facility and the collection that is behind the proposed addition. We provided to LSSE the updated calculations that show that the downstream have capacity. They actually have sent us a letter as of late this afternoon that those were acceptable. So that comment has been addressed. As far as the stormwater management agreement, once that's presented, I believe the club will review and sign and accept.
Yeah, I would interject the site improvement agreement as well as stormwater management. We would just ask that a draft be submitted. That way I can review that with Valley Brook officials, and then any commentary will work with the Peters Township on that.
It'll be similar to what you did for the racking club.
Perfect. And we had no issue with that, so yeah, don't expect that to be a problem.
Very good. And then if you wouldn't mind, Mark, could you scroll back to the recommendations from staff? Sure. I think there was, on our internal memo, we have 3
what
conditions.
I just expanded upon in other words, in your memo, it actually mentions the letters.
Yes.
I expanded what the letters were.
Gotcha.
In there.
Is number 4 still applicable, given that we have correspondence as recent as this afternoon?
Sounds like it's...
Yeah, we consider that to be satisfactorily addressed.
Gotcha. So it's really just 4. Okay.
I do believe, sir, that Ryan confirmed item number 1 has been addressed.
Item number 1 and item number 2 have been addressed. They were submitted to the township, I believe, earlier this week, I do not think the township has had time to review the plans though at this point, but those have been added to the plans.
That is correct, we haven't had a chance.
Understood.
In regard to the hydrant, I apologize, Mark, in regard to the hydrant, Valley Brook is working with Pennsylvania American Water Company on a new main water line. We have been working with them over the last couple of months. We're now working with our construction manager to sequence when that project will start. At that point, we know the township wanted to meet with us collectively, talk about planning, staging, the logistics of that. So as soon as we know when we would like to target that project, I will reach out to the township and we'll schedule that meeting. And at that time, we'll determine the location of the hydrant on that public side. And I do believe our plans indicate the private side hydrant adjacent to our water line. So I believe we've addressed those comments as well.
Understood. And again, just, this is a planning commission recommendation, correct, Mark?
No, this is a site plan approval.
Okay,
So it is, you guys are making the final decision.
understood. To which there are currently 4 conditions recommended by staff, 1, 2, 3, and 5, as noted on the screen. Very good. Any commissioner comments? Any other public comments? Anything else from the applicant? Hearing none. Do you have a motion?
I'll make a motion that the Valley Brook Country Club renovations land development plan be approved with the 4 conditions or recommendations outlined by staff.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations. Good luck. Back to you, Mr. Mills.
All right, next on the agenda is Rose Garden Estates Plan Number 2.
The township is in receipt of a subdivision application from Rose Garden Pool Association. The subject property is 10.8 acres in area and located in the southwestern corner of the township. The majority of the property is comprised of existing Lot A4. Most of this parcel is vacant, but the Rose Garden Pool Association is located on a site just under 2 acres in area, comprising just over 20% of the parcel's area in the northeastern corner of that parcel. The gravel pad is also located on the northwest corner of the parcel. The remainder of the property is comprised of existing lots 25 and 15, which are each just over 1 acre in area and located north of existing Lot A4. Both parcels are improved with single-family dwellings, and existing Lot 15 has access to the aforementioned gravel pad. The plan would essentially re-subdivide the existing 3 lots into 4 new lots. A new lot line is proposed south of the Rose Garden Pool Association site that would create proposed Lot 1 out of the southern 2.6 acres of the parcel, and portions of the northern end of the parcel would be transferred to existing lots 25 and 15, and 2,005 square feet of Lot 25 would be transferred to Lot 15 to create proposed Lots 3 and 4. Approximately 5 acres would remain of existing Lot A4 and be given the new designation Lot 2. And you can kind of see how these lot lines shift as I go back and forth. The plan would eliminate a nonconformity on existing Lot 15, and the result would be 4 lots that comply with the dimensional regulations of the low-density zoning district. Staff is recommending that the Planning Commission recommend approval of the Rose Garden Estates Number 2 plan, subject to 1 minor technical comment that is listed on the screen. And just to clarify, this is a recommendation to council.
What's the reasoning for them doing this?
The applicant would have to speak to that.
Is the applicant here?
Yeah.
Oh, come on up, Keith.
Good afternoon, or good evening. I also have a representative from Rose Garden as well, Sid.
Please introduce yourself.
My name's Sid Shue, and I'm the president of Rose Garden Pool Association.
Great.
And
Do you want? Is there still a sign-in sheet up there?
Yeah,
Yeah, there is.
Okay. Okay.
I can talk a little bit about, so lot number 4 is kind of unusual shape, but we're cleaning up some approach to that. They kind of built a gravel pad, so we're kind of addressing the lot lines to kind of put all his improvements on his lot. The proposed lot number 3, that gentleman is a member of the pool, and he's just looking to buy a little bit more property on his side. And then lot number 1 is proposing a brand new lot that they sell in the future.
So 1 is orange on the chart, correct?
Correct.
Which is 3 and 4?
4 is yellow and 3 is green. Explanation of the property.
well, you're absolutely correct. This is the area that is extraneous to the operation of the pool today, and had interest in selling out part of it, and we thought we would explore it through this process.
Is that just a vacant lot currently? Anything on it?
It's all vacant.
Okay.
You know, that it's adjacent, the green, yellow, and the tan are all vacant.
Mark, would they be able to put a house on that lot? The green one
green
you're
one.
selling?
Lot number 1.
The green one already has a house on it.
Oh, which
it
one are they
does.
selling?
Lot
Orange.
1.
The orange?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Which, and to answer your question, yes, they'd be able to put a house on it.
Okay.
And the yellow only has access from Sherwood, not from Canterbury.
Correct.
And it's empty, just,
He's going to dwell in on his property too, but
he's just
all
buying,
his he's buying that section.
okay.
All his improvements here encroach on the pool property, so we're kind of just cleaning all that up. And
Jim's going between the proposed and the existing, by the way.
Kind of help you visualize
Yeah.
what's
there's
happening.
all day there, and I see cleaning up that non-conformity as well, but that wasn't our goal.
So Rose Garden will end up only owning the purple.
Correct.
That is correct.
And you don't have any outbuildings or storage sheds or,
No, we had no intention to ever use that property, so it's really no use.
This is wooded parcel. So yeah, we're gonna put it up for sale and see what happens.
See what happens?
oh, so you don't have a buyer, you're waiting.
For the orange portion of it, yes. For the green and the yellow, there's a proposed buyer.
Mhm.
They're the adjacent property owners.
Yeah, and their signatures are gonna be on the plan. So there's 3 parties on the plan. And we're on the application.
Any other commissioner comments? The motion?
I guess I'll make a motion that the Rose Garden Estates Plan Number 2 be approved, or is it recommended? Recommended to council, subject to, is it just the one?
Just the one.
Condition, as outlined in staff's memo dated November 7th, 2024.
There's just one of the lot lines to be removed is missing.
Okay.
I'll point it out to you
All
later.
right.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Next on the agenda is Lutz Farm Phase 2.
Just a point of note, I'll be recusing myself from this discussion as the owner of PVE who did the plan of recording here.
What we have before you is, it is phase 2 of the Lutz Farms residential subdivision plan. This is a final plan that you'd be recommending approval to council on, and is largely based upon the preliminary plan that was approved back in 2021, which included 26 acres in total and approximately 42 single-family homes. The final plans for phase 1 were approved. They had final approval back in 2022. In addition to that, one lot from the subdivision, lot 214, was consolidated with an adjoining lot that is right in this area here, and it was consolidated here into, I believe it's the Gilks property. And the development as a whole is zoned conservation residential. And again, the project area is 26 acres for the total, and in the case of phase 2, we're looking at 7.4 acres. So in terms of what is proposed, again, this is largely based on the preliminary plan. It's almost identical to the preliminary plan. Phase 2 includes 13 lots. You can see to the south and southeast of Thomas Road, which runs right through here. They're proposing 13 single-family homes off of 2 new proposed public roads. The density for this development is 1.7 dwelling units per acre, which is below our maximum. And in green here, you can see the open space for the entire development. It's 6 acres, and for phase 2 itself, it's 1.32 acres. On this slide here, we'll also see that there's a stormwater pond provided here in phase 1 that will also handle the stormwater from phase 2. And again, as I noted earlier, there are 2 new roads, Hunter's Crossing and Haymaker Court here. Haymaker's Court is just a cul-de-sac. Hunter's Crossing is proposed to eventually be able to provide access to the adjoining properties. And I'll also point out in terms of transportation approvals, the HOP has been approved by PennDOT for the development. So since this is virtually identical to the plan that was given preliminary approval, and the fact that it meets all of our zoning and land development ordinance requirements, staff is recommending to Planning Commission that they recommend to council to approve the Lutz Farm Phase 2 final subdivision plan dated October 17, conditioned upon the following conditions. We just need to make sure and get a copy of the final HOA documents, which we may actually have in our possession from the last phase that was approved. There are 2 lots that are corner lots, and we just ask that they also be noted with an optional address on the other adjoining street. The development plan is required to have a street light at the entrance where it meets Thomas Road, so we'll need to show that on the plans. Also on the plans, if you just note the street width for each of the lanes for Hunter's Crossing, since that particular street differs from all the other streets. It has 10-foot wide lanes. The other streets have 9-foot wide lanes. We just want to make sure it's clear when it gets proposed and developed. Also, we need proof from the County Planning Commission that they have reviewed the plans. And then the Sewer Authority had some questions and comments regarding lot 214 and lot 213. And it's kind of hard to see here, but lot 213 is this large lot here, and 214 is the one that was consolidated over into the adjoining property. Now, to serve these 2 lots with sanitary sewer, it's proposed that there is a easement that runs along the southern portion here of the development out to Hunter's Crossing. And that this would be a public easement and would be developed to public standards. The question by the sanitary authority is, if this lot 214 is no longer in play, does this even need to be public? And if not, then the plan should show it as being just basically a private lateral out to the street. And then lastly, we just need to execute a subdivision improvement agreement for this particular phase. That's all we have on this. The developer is here to answer any questions if you have them.
Would Lot 214 have direct access to Thomas Road?
It does have direct access, and that was the original plan.
Okay.
Again, the adjoining property owner at some point in the past worked with Mr. Taylor to purchase and consolidate
Right.
that property.
So it is one big parcel now?
It is one big parcel now, yeah.
So if you wanted to develop it, you'd have to subdivide it?
You would have to get this party here, or they would have to do the subdivision.
Yeah.
Yes. Correct.
Then you're saying they would not have access to sewage unless they get a public easement there?
If they want access, then this should remain public. But the issue is it has to be built to public standards, meaning that the developer is going to have to build it to public standards. So that's the question. Do you want to build?
Please come up, sir. Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Caleb Tavon. I'm the engineer for the project. I think since all this went down, we actually had further conversations with PTSA. They asked us to remove that easement. 214 obviously is a part of the Blake's property. It will not be served by this easement or by the low pressure force mains. That's also been removed.
Okay, so that is no longer an issue.
Then PTSA issued a letter today. I don't know if you saw it, but
I know, I saw some from PTSA. I just haven't had a chance to.
and so they asked for it to be removed.
Okay.
So that's it? Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions for the applicant?
I have a question, I don't know if it's for the applicant, maybe Mark. At the end of Hunter's Crossing, we anticipate that that will be a through road to maybe more development past that point?
Potentially, yes.
And can we recommend, or is it a feature that's built in that maybe a couple signs are at the end saying this is expected to be a through road?
Actually, I would make that a condition. That is actually a requirement that we typically have. And I'm not sure if it's on the plan, so I would just make that a condition of your recommendation to council.
I'd like to add that.
Yeah, we even have the wording as to what we're supposed to put on the sign.
Okay, good. Otherwise, yeah, good.
And it butts up against Simmons Farm, isn't Simmons Farm?
There's two different properties there. Well,
It's the Gearville property, the triangle that comes in, and then on the backside of it is actually owned by the Brook Trust. So the Simmons property is actually another parcel back.
Any issues with phase one that came out during construction or subsequent as far as?
not that I'm aware of.
How's the runoff or water the stormwater get to the first across the street? Is there a pipe in place or it has to be placed?
Maybe you want to probably explain a little bit better, but there is a stormwater system
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, if you actually drive down Thomas Road, I think the crossing pipe was actually put in today. So it crosses approximately towards the tail end of that green space on our side of the road, on the south side, crosses over and then goes to an easement that gets to the basin.
So you bored under, you didn't dig up, Thomas?
It open cut.
Oh.
We were approved for open cut.
Okay.
Yeah, that would have been a lot for
Yeah.
24-inch pipe. That casing.
Yeah.
Mark, is Thomas considered a collector road?
It is either a collector or a connector. Actually, I think it's a collector, and it's a state road.
Any other questions? If not, can I get a motion, please?
I recommend approval of the Lutz Farms Phase 2, subject to the conditions set forth by staff as set forth in the
Staff report is
November 6th?
November 6, 2024 staff report.
I'll
And
second.
we'll add that
Yep.
one about the sign.
Yep.
Yeah.
And adding the sign requirements.
I'll still second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Good luck to you, thank you. Last on the agenda is, how do you pronounce this,
Yohe-Vanvoorhis is how I've been pronouncing
Okay,
it.
Yohe-Vanvoorhis Subdivision Modification Request.
Okay, as you may recall, the planning commission reviewed this subdivision plan at the previous meeting. Following this review, the Plan Commission unanimously recommended that council approve the plan. However, it was subsequently identified that the plan does not comply with 385-36B3B of the Saldo, which prohibits the creation of new residential lots with access to arterial or collector streets. As Bebout Road is a collector road, therefore a modification from this regulation must be approved by council prior to approval of the plan. And in case you've forgotten, this is the plan itself, just a simple division of a 1 acre parcel into 2 half-acre parcels along Bebout Road. Staff is in support of the granting of this modification request as the lot being created was a previously unrecorded lot and there are no apparent site distance concerns. As such, staff is recommending the Plan Commission recommend approval of the applicant's request for a modification from 385-36B3B. Regardless of whether the Plan Commission does or does not make a recommendation, this modification request and the plan are expected to be considered at the November 25th council meeting.
So it was an unrecorded lot only because it was never conveyed and made it official? Is that the...
That's my understanding.
Yeah,
all those lots along Bebout in that area are
Yeah.
half acres, and it's obviously it was just not really ever built on.
Yeah,
So.
never conveyed or,
Yeah.
to make it stamped. Seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah, any other commission comments? If not, could I get a recommendation, please?
I'll make a recommendation that the Planning Commission, I'll make a motion the Planning Commission recommend approval of the Yohe-Vanvoorhis subdivision modification request as identified in staff's memo of November 7th, 2024.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Mark, any staff updates?
Yes. In case you didn't check your email today, late today, I also sent out an email at the last minute. And what it is the RFP for the upcoming comprehensive plan update. And what we're looking to do is just see if you guys have any comments on it. I'll provide time, but we have it here physically in front of you. If you guys have any comments, if you could provide them to me in the next week or two, we will then be taking that into account and providing this to council in December. Where then hopefully we'll get the green light to issue the RFP and send it out. In addition to that, up on the slide here today, just kind of we have worked out amongst staff what our consultant selection process will look like. We're aiming to issue the request for proposals on January 2nd. We are looking to potentially have a pre-application meeting with consultants approximately 10 days prior to the submission date. We'll actually, as we move forward, we'll solidify some of these timeframes. We'll also then work on issuing any responses to the pre-application meeting as well as any other RFIs or requests for information. It's about 7 days prior to that submission. And that submission date we're aiming for is February 7th, where staff will review all the applications and submissions, and then we will select the top 3 or 4 candidates, at which point we will get together with the steering committee and go through and determine what our recommendation is to council, and then council will select from those 3 or 4 candidates which one they believe should be the ideal candidates to do the RFP or the comprehensive plan update. We're looking to do that selection sometime in March, hopefully March 10th, but if not March 10th, March 24th. The reason why I have steering committee underlined there is we're also going to be forming steering committees to not just do the selection of the candidates, but to also work with the consultant on developing the comprehensive plan update. We're looking at maybe being a 7-member committee, possibly larger, although we'd like to keep it as small as possible. But we're looking at potentially getting 2 members, or volunteers, whatever you want to call it, from Planning Commission. We'd also like to get 2 members from Council, a member from the Zoning Hearing Board, and then 2 other members, which we haven't figured out who they would be. So what I'd also like for you guys to think about tonight is who would you like to have from this group volunteer to be on that steering committee? If you want to volunteer today, that'd be great. But if not, I would need to know either way by our next meeting. Maybe that's what we'll choose at our next meeting in December.
This is an update, right? It's not a full-blown.
This is an update, so we will be. if you'll
We
see
talked about
it-
that. Didn't we talk about that at
Yeah.
the joint meeting?
Yeah, we're looking to validate everything that we did previously. We'll potentially add some new things if we miss something or there's been a new issue that's cropped up, which is a couple. And then largely just update any of the data demographics information.
What is the time commitment for a volunteer?
So volunteering, so we envision the steering committee meeting once a month. I'm going to try, ideally I'd like to do it on what's the fourth Thursday of the month. The reason why I say that is that's actually the planning commission's second meeting of the month. We typically don't have it usually reserved for workshop items or other emergency planning issues. But I think that would be a good time to do that here.
So once a month, starting,
Sometime after March 10th,
and going,
for about a year. Yeah. So, we envision it being about roughly 10 meetings probably. And the other point that the steering committee will be doing is they will also be helping select candidates. So sometime in February, we meet to discuss all the candidates and who we think should be the recommendations to the project.
I'll withdraw because I'm not here during the winter and other times of the year.
Yeah, I suspect in the beginning we'll probably meet, and the way I see it, and the way it's usually typically done, is you have an initial meeting, right, say early on in March, maybe in early April. Then you kind of back off for a month or two because there's a lot of just legwork that the consultants do. And then again, you start kind of picking up and trying to meet everything like that.
So you're looking for two of us?
Yep, 2 members to volunteer. You can choose to do it tonight if you like, or if you'd rather wait till December to discuss amongst yourselves or think about it.
I'm going to pass. I was involved in it last time.
This is where everybody takes a step back and whoever's left.
So you're looking for 2. I will volunteer unless 2 others feel strongly, and then the 3 of us can discuss it maybe amongst ourselves.
I don't
I mean,
think
I'm interested in it. I would just need to check the calendar just as far as those Thursdays.
Okay.
Just to make sure that I don't come back out and say like, well, I already know that I'm not available for 3.
Well, I will tell you this much, the Thursday was just my idea.
Sure.
It could be other times, whatever the timing works,
Right.
we'll do that. I just know Thursdays, this room is available.
Yeah. So I'd be interested, but if other people feel more strongly about it,
Go for it.
I think you have your 2.
There you go.
All right.
So
Thank you very much.
Anything else, Mark?
No, that's it.
All right, thank you.
All right, meeting adjourned.